Good morning. All right. Okay, puppy, come this way. Come on, over here. I intended to schedule this so you knew about it before I just popped on live, but apparently that's next level and I'm still not next level. So here I am, just popping on. And we'll see how this goes. I've got a mug. It's still got drink stuff in it. I can't put it there. It'll move. Okay. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? We're going to see what is below it today. I mean, besides books, because there's books. It's officially December today. I mean, yesterday. Yesterday it was officially December. It's cold. I'm cold. Maybe I should say that. No matter what I do, my hands are always frigid in the winter. They're either freezing or they're sweating. They don't usually, but you know, like that kind of hot that is not pleasant. In the winter, I'm either cold or I'm in that state. That's not where my needle needed to go. Puppy. The last couple days, getting my 600 stitches have really only taken me a little over 2 hours, but not by much. It's been very low confetti. Like, this is not very confetti heavy at all. And this is like 310 and a little bit of 939. It's not much. It's nice to have that balanced out sometimes, to have the I wouldn't really call it block stitching, but like where I can actually finish a thread and not just, here's one stitch. I'm a little confused on what's happening here. Oh, I see. There we go. It's a little early for, and it's only 8 o'clock on East Coast. Oh my goodness, my needle does not want to come up where it needs to. So I'm going to have to make a cross-stitching order soon because I need more needles. And needles can't travel on their own, so there's some other things I'll be buying. I actually know what I'll get. Things for a year in the woods, but I might end up throwing in some extra things besides those items. We'll see. But I think I have like 2 spare needles left. And that's not good if you like run out of needles. Hi, Amelia. Having a hard time writing an essay? Well, I can't help with that, but I can be a little bit of a distraction. I mean, if distraction is what you need. Hi, Alara. Long time no talk. Well, I can't tell you everything, Alara. I mean, I could. I haven't started the year in the woods yet either, Julia. But I'm planning to. I'm pretty certain that's going to be what I start on New Year's Day. I don't have the reindeer, and I don't have all of the specialty flosses yet. I just need to get those, and then I'll be ready because I have the fabric already. That's just silly. Oh man, my hands are so cold. It makes cross-stitching hard. Well, harder. They don't move as much. Hi, Sharon. Okay, Sharon, you're here. So, have you seen The Monk, the TV show? Because you know how his that's okay. I haven't watched it recently anyway. The only reason this matters is because on Instagram for the longest time I had to remind myself constantly that your name was Sharon, not Sharona, because of your handle on Instagram. Sharona from Monk. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. I'm so glad it's not just me. I think the first time I was like, Sharona? Ka? Like, what? But then it didn't take me long to figure it out. But then for, once you see something, it's hard to unsee it. So whenever I see your Instagram name, I think of Monk, even though like it's not like it's a favorite show or anything. I haven't watched. I don't even think I've watched all of it, but there's a tie-in. Oh, it does stick in the brain. And also, it's not like Sharona is a very common name. So there's also that. Okay. Let's see. Maybe I can watch that movie this month. It's not really Christmas, but there's snow in it. Oh, well, Lara's got a song here. Oh, that's funny. Sometimes I forget somebody's name if their channel name isn't indicative of what their name is. And it's usually like the very common ones, like Jessica, because there's so many Jessicas. I love all you Jessicas. And Debbie's. And I like to prefer how people like to be called. So, like, is it Jess? Is it Jessica? Is it Jessie? Is it Deb, Debbie, Deborah? I've known people who are particular about their names. So I decided that I was going to watch a Christmas movie I should say holiday movie, like every day. I don't even watch stuff every day, so I don't know why I thought that this season would be great to do that. I didn't even know it was a thing, but I guess it doesn't surprise me that that's a thing for people to do. Yes, White Christmas is always like that was definitely going to be in there somewhere. And since my daughter's only with me part of the time, I told her that the ones I watched while she wasn't around, I'd make sure that it wasn't like the ones that she would really want to watch. I don't know what it's going to be today, though. I haven't decided them in advance. I just have a list and I'll watch stuff. I'll watch a lot of favorites, but I'll also watch like new to me ones. There's a lot of new to me ones. I don't always branch out because I don't watch a lot. And so, okay, Alara, my dad's name is David, and he also does not like being called Dave, but he won't correct people if they call him Dave. He'll just like grit and bear it. Very passive like that. It's the same thing. My brother's name is Jonathan. Not the one that lives with me, the other one. His name's Jonathan. It's Jonathan. It's not any form of Jonathan. Well, his camp nickname is Yoshi, so you know, it's Jonathan or Yoshi. I'm like staring at my... And I imagine that you get tired of correcting people with your name. I mean, that's how it is with my maiden name. Is after a while you're just like, it's whatever. It's not worth my effort. So with the Christmas movies, I asked somewhere. Oh, on my Facebook. I asked on my Facebook. For what holiday movies that people recommended. And I wrote down all the ones that have been suggested. I mean, there's over 30. So I'm definitely not going to get to them all. You have fun saying my maiden name. I've considered going back to it, but I probably won't because it's a hassle. Well, it's not a hassle to change it. It would be a hassle to tell people how to say it. And there's not a need for me to do that. I do know Astrid Lindgren. Well, I don't know her personally, obviously. Astrid Lindgren. I didn't know that they made like movie things of her stories. Well, except for Pippi, which I've seen and read. I don't know that I've read anything besides Pippi from her, though. But my daughter and I both love Pippi. Hey, Peroska. Because I don't have any like little kids, I don't know that I'll do a lot of the like really young stuff, like Rudolph or Santa Claus. You know, those claymation ones, those are fantastic. I haven't watched Little Women with my daughter yet because she hasn't read the book yet. And I kind of like it when she reads the book before the movie. So we'll see about that one. Ronya, the robber's daughter. Let me go add it to my list, otherwise I will forget. Let's see here. Read Ronya. written down. Thank you for the recommendation. I do like Pippi Longstocking, and I like that kind of style of book, so it kind of sounds like I will like it a lot. November was not a very good reading month for me, though. It's a lot harder for me to read when I'm stressed out. Like my brain stops comprehending very well the written word. So I still made sure to read, but it was very, very small amounts compared to, and easy things compared to what I can normally read. But it has meant that I've done more stitching. Oh, let's see here. I basically plan to finish 2 more projects by the end of the year. That seems exciting. That'll be like 13, 14 projects finished this year. I don't remember. I have the count somewhere. I'm going to start a Mill Hill Santa this month. That'll be exciting. I haven't sorted out the threads yet. I didn't realize I had so many like Christmassy patterns started until I was pulling them all out yesterday. Like, oh, I've got a lot of options this season. I think Christmas is really the only time that I like to seasonally stitch a little bit. The other times I don't ever really feel a pull. I like to stitch on seasonal things, just not necessarily in the season. I don't really care about that. Except for Christmas. I like to make sure I stitch Christmas this month. You know, Sharon, it's so much easier to get finishes when there's small projects involved. All those calendar girls, you know, that's 9 so far. I have 1 left to go. And I have a plan for my my temperature library to be finished by the end of the year. I think I can do it. You're okay, puppy. There's actually quite a lot left. And let me grab it. I will show you. I made this a project that I was going to work on for just like 30 minutes a day. My temperature library. This one. And I started that back here, and 30 minutes was giving me about 4 to 5 books, depending on the colors. Like if I could stitch one color for 2 books, I could go further. And that meant I could do one shelf in like a week. And then I just was like, I want this finished. And so then, like this shelf I stitched in 3 days. I just did 10 books, 10 books, and 10 books. Because I want it done. And I got the numbers for November, so I can now stitch November. But there's all of these blank spots here because there's little like knickknacks, tchotchkes, and I want to customize that. So I just bought the expansion packs finally, and I haven't looked through them yet. And I'll be able to pick out what I want. There's one here and here and here. This one goes there, that big one. So I'll be able to find something. And then I'm also going to backstitch in between each of these books. So I'm hoping that between the tchotchke and the backstitching, I can do each month within like 2 days. And if I can do that, I can have this whole thing finished December 31st. I just, the other thing is that this is the back side of it, but there's this top plaque. It says 2022. And I have always wanted to chart that, well, rechart it, modify it, I guess, because I wanted to include all the colors of my books. Sneak peek, everybody, because I was working on this morning. And I got this. It's like the first like modification I've ever charted before. But I wanted to get all my colors there. And so I'm excited for that. Now when I get to the plaque, I can just stitch it. I don't have to do the charting part because I did it. Just wanted the colors to be represented like all together and to see the fade from one color to the next. So I'm getting all the stitching done. I'm just not getting any of the like cleaning done. The hardest part, Tracy, is going to make sure that the numbers is a good color because I had changed the color of the bookshelf brown. And so I'm also going to change the color. Anyway, I think the color I chose will work, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. And if I need to, I'll backstitch the numbers too, to just kind of like pop it out a little bit more. Hi, Purdy Cat. I was thinking the other day of wanting to do, how did I do at the Stars Treasure Hunt? Okay, for Treasure Hunt Bookshelf, I got the kit from Heaven and Earth Designs. Because it was one of the, it was kind of a learning process, and I just wanted to get it. And at the time, it was only a couple weeks wait, not the months that it is now. Yep, one of them purple packages. I will say that for a Max Color project and the way that I was working on it, I did not like the cards that it came on. And so I changed my system. It's actually one of the reasons why I started stitching this extreme cross country, was because of that. Now I just kit up the things by myself, however I feel like doing it. Yes, Tracy, that's what I'm thinking of, is just that little bit of shadow. I love Once Upon a Fairy Tale. I really want to do that one too. Good morning, Jessica. Two days ago, I had all intentions of pre-scheduling this live so people have like a heads up. That did not happen. But in general, it seems like I can do Friday mornings pretty consistently. So I'm here. Good morning to all of you. Unless it's not your morning. Hi, Zan. Because for several of you, it's not morning. I want to know what you got, Jessica, for it. I'm a little nerdy like that. I like to see people's setups and what they're planning on doing. I might be getting a product also that will more easily allow for me to set up for Stitch with Me's rather than what I've got right now. But not yet. This is working and it's okay. Hi, Catherine. I hope you have a good working day. It's Friday. Friday, I consider my week. Friday and Saturday is kind of like my weekend. Sunday kind of is too, but it starts to feel more busy and stress like the rest of the week. Hi, Celia. You have a stitchy friend coming today. That's fun. I love it. Oh, Good, Jessica. I'm glad that you're doing a live for Flossmas. Is anyone else doing Flossmas? In any capacity? I'm a little torn on Flossmas videos because I have people that I'm caught up on and then people that I'm like not caught up on. So those people, do I jump ahead and watch Flossmas, or or do I not? I don't know. I think hot mess is relatable. Let's be real. That's kind of life all the time for most people. Oh, you took the baby to the office. not Alara. Alara is not doing Flossmas. That's okay. You're chasing a teenage puppy around. Hi, Nicole. So, Tracy, are you doing Flossmas maybe through like, even if you're not a floss tuber, you don't have to, I don't think you have to. Just adapt the idea for what it is that works for you. Alara, you don't have to do short videos all the time. You can do long videos all the time. I'm sure that's so easy, right? your emoji choice, Jessica. Oh, Tracy, that's nice doing it on a Facebook group. That's a good way to do it. I think it's important that like we don't try to be perfect at all the things, you know? I also think it's important to not apologize that it's not perfect. Like, don't apologize for being real. Because that's usually what is drawing people in to you. Your first one. Maybe it's because it's the first one, Jessica, and so maybe after, now that you have that first one out of the way, it'll be less like that. Here's the thing about perfection is that it's an illusion. Our idea of perfect, or society's idea, I don't know, like it's this huge illusion that is highly unattainable. And even if it was attainable, like, I don't know, that just seems sad in a way. But I've also been learning over the last couple years to like redefine what perfect is. Like perfect isn't that life looks a certain way, but it's that maybe that I feel a certain way. I'm not sure that I know how to describe it. Like there's always going to be hard times. There's going to be challenging times. But there is such like beauty in the imperfect that it makes it perfect. It becomes perfect. I guess maybe acceptance, not accepting. There are some things I don't accept, right? But there are healthy things to accept. And I think that's kind of perfect, you know? I'm sorry, I'm just reading all the comments right now, but I'm not reading them out loud. What I do with like making sure that I watch like different videos is either in the morning or the night before. I just look through my subscriptions, and if there are new ones for me to watch, I add them to my watch later list. And then usually it's during this time while I'm stitching my bookshelf. I turn on that playlist and I am able to watch. It's okay to be chatty. Zan, that can be really hard. If your technology, like your filming capabilities, isn't the level that you'd like it to be. I think good lighting can help with that, but it can only make up some of the difference. I think no matter what you're filming with, good lighting is very important. It can make a big difference. You went from monogamous to Jemima in a month. Jemima's not even the worst of it. I say worst, but you know, I love Jemima. I definitely know people who have over 200 whips. It's just crazy. I use my phone to record my videos. I use a webcam for these Stitch With Me's. It's an older webcam and it needs upgraded, but it works. It's all full coverage. Okay, that would be monogamous to Jemima, though. To be to have 22 full coverage. Celia does like tons of full coverage too. I don't think she's here now. She was stitching with a friend. That would stress me out to have that many full coverage projects. Because I want to see things finish too much or see progress. Although there definitely are times when I want to just start a lot of things, but it's usually a stress thing. Oh, I was not paying attention. Oh, good. It's just that stitch I didn't need. Marking off my pattern. You have fun, Sharon. Change it to a do list. Oh, Celia's still here. You're gonna start 4 more? Look, it doesn't stress me that anybody else has that many full coverages. I know how many you're planning on starting, Alara. Oh, that's smart, Jessica. I hook the webcam up to my laptop so I can see all the comments and everything. 42 projects. Okay, but Amelia, 7 projects is impressive too. It's impressive on the other scale. Sometimes I think about like when people talk about how many projects they have, I like to think about how I would tackle all their projects if I were them and trying to work through them. You know, when somebody's like, I have 200 projects, and I'm like, how can I help? How would I work through 200 projects to have less than 200 projects? And it's kind of like this, ooh, fun challenge that I don't actually ever want to experience because 200 projects is stressful. But like it could also be fun. Of course, they don't have very many full coverage. They're like maybe 1 full coverage, and the rest are small ones. Okay, so Jessica, I've had these conversations before where it's like there's active whips that are kind of different from all your whips. It's not a discarded project. They're just not active right now. Oh, my brain has a difference. In my brain, there is a difference between having it kitted up and having it started. Once it is started, I want to see like stitches in it and projects. I was asked a very excellent question from somebody who is here right now the other day, who asked how much stress something was causing in the back of my mind. And like unconscious stress, right? Where you don't really realize that it's putting pressure on you. That's what a start is that I'm not touching. Which is why I need to get my whip count down, because you know, I'm actively working on maybe 4 or 5 projects, but the remaining 20 are just sitting there on like in the back of my mind pressing. So my brain definitely has a difference. It'll take a few years, Zan. Yep, that's full coverage takes a few years. Like I'm dedicated to this for like, you know, like this whole floss tube the stitching community thing. Like, I'm here for the next decade at least, you know. When is my Lord of the Rings wall going to be finished? Like, I can't stop before then and leave everybody hanging. Jamie, you have a pattern addiction. Now you have to stitch all of them. We need more time. It's interesting how people are so different. I am so excited that Brian is going to look into doing an Android version. I am so excited about that. I really, really want to, I really want the cross stitch journal app. I really do. I am surprised by how many people are going to start that Rivendell pattern with me. Like, so many of you. It's been bonkers. And how many people also want a Lord of the Rings wall and everything? Yeah. Okay. The cross stitch journal app is by Brian Blitzstitch, and it is an Apple product. Go check his channel out, Blitzstitch. He has a video that walks you through it. He has made updates. Since then, he's done bug fixes. It is fantastic, and I say that having not even used it. But he's had a spreadsheet for years and years, which I've on and off have touched and used, but it was a little too, I don't know. It was too much outside of my normal, like, how I stitched and used and things. But an app would be fantastic to use instead of a spreadsheet. So go check that out. A cat project. Well. Good morning, Kristen. Alara, you I think you need to say something like equestrian, because a horse, unicorns, like, it's not just horse. Why is Alara up? Alara has a puppy she's watching. That's why Alara is up. He's such a floofy one. I think the only grouping of patterns is my Lord of the Rings one. The rest I don't really see as a... These have to be grouped together. I live about an hour from Monticello, which is Thomas Jefferson's home. And there's a room in there that is like the... I don't remember what they call it, but it's like the parlor, I guess. It's got really, really tall ceilings. It's got some instruments, but all on the walls, like all the way up the walls, are pictures. And they're like different. They're all styled for the time period, right? But they're all different. Like they're not matchy-matchy like we tend to think of now in our modern day. And I'm really inspired by that, like how they don't have to go together in order to be put together. It becomes kind of this display as a whole that is wonderful. The only thing I figure I'm gonna need a gallery, not just a wall. Well, I don't. That's a good question, Alara. Maybe because we're not like actually here is why I think that there aren't something like a traveling cross stitch art gallery, or even a non-traveling artists who are painting or sculpting or anything like that. They can make a print of what they painted and sell that. But a stitcher, like we basically stitch for ourselves. You can't make a print of a stitched item and sell that. And if you sell the finished piece, then it can't be in an art gallery traveling around. Look, give me a decade and then you guys can all come visit me. And you can have a gallery. Oh, we'll see. We can do a lot in 10 years, right? Yeah. Sending stitched items like that, Zan, would be terrifying. Especially overseas. Even if it was constantly insured, they're not replaceable. I'm listening, Alara. But I need you to not give me ideas. Because I like to act on ideas. Like I can see, but yes, like a traveling brag table. Okay, so I want a travel van, right? Wouldn't it be fun to, like, you could pack all of these pieces up in your van, go travel, like set up somewhere, have like a weekend show or even a full week or something, and then like move on to another place. And as you traveled around, you could like meet up and add in new pieces as you meet people. There'd be a lot of paperwork involved, a lot of insurance, I feel like. You'd have to make sure that everything would be like safe. You know, I can see there needing to be contracts and things because these are valuable pieces that we're talking about. Oh, you know, I have ideas. That's what I'm saying. Stop giving me ideas because I want to act on all of them. There's never any late to these Stitch with me's. You're here when you're here, and that's always the good time. I'm only, what am I, 235 stitches in. I need to keep going. I hit a confetti area. So I'm moving a little slower now. I think it would be fun to just, you know, travel around and be like, hey, I'm in this area. Anybody want to meet up? I think that's important for home insurance to do that because it is a valuable, just like, I don't know, your wedding jewelry or something like that. Kristen, you were exhausted after the one weekend. Yes, Jessica. I mean, that is why we want insurance. That's a good addition to have information on the, you know, besides just their name. You know, you can go somewhere and you're like, this was stitched by this person and they live in this area, but it doesn't, there's no little bio on them. I love the biographies. Things like that. Oh, you know what you could do? You could totally have it like digital, and then you could have like the QR code that links people to that digital like stories and biographies. And then you could have as many stories as you wanted to related to the stitching or the people. want to go back to an area with less confetti. But I gotta stitch it sometime. Videos of Snoop Dogg on the true crime wine bottle labels. I have zero idea what you're talking about, Jess. But that makes me laugh. Good morning, Dawn. Get Snoop Dogg to narrate the stitching journeys. He might be a little out of our price tag. Unless he's going to do it pro bono. Maybe we could pitch it as, I don't know, community service. All for a good cause. I don't even drink wine. So it's an innovative idea, you know. Morgan Freeman. I'm gonna need to make some friends, y'all. Who can connect me with Morgan Freeman and Snoop Dogg? Or who's the nature guy? David McCullough? Stitching stories in the nature style. That would be funny. Attenborough. Thank you. I got the David. I was like, David McCullough, he's the writer. Attenborough. Good morning, Jen. Maybe we would just have to have like a Jess. She said she didn't have that much left, but indeed, that is that's a crafter. Oh, I'm sorry, Jen. I hope your kitty's okay. Or will be. What would be funny is not only like them reading these stories, but then also like their thoughts about reading the stories. Like the behind the scenes. That would be hilarious. Non-stitchers' thoughts about stitchers' thoughts. Yay. Or like, I don't, when they see tiny stitches, or when they realize that full coverage pieces are like, yeah. Oh, Jen, you're like one of the people we were talking about earlier before you got here. 118 whips. And here, now in my head, I'm like, how would I work through Jen's 118 whips? If I could have 2 lives and one of them had like a ridiculous amount of whips and was working through them, and then my other life was like all my normal stitching, then I would do that. You're gonna need like 5 whip parade videos, or don't get chatty like I did on my whip parade. I like the idea of the challenge of like 100 whips. I don't want the stress of it. Do you know how many people love the long videos? A BAP is a big ass project. This bookshelf would qualify as a BAP. Jen, I can come visit you and I'll do your whip parade video. We could trade. You show my projects and I show your projects. And we make up all the information about it. Not really, not make it up, but like pretend like we know what we're talking about. That would be fun. I like filming with parades. I'm pretty sure my whip parade, I just kept saying, oh, I love this. And I'm like, of course I love it. You get bored filming your own whip parade. So many people love the long videos. It's kind of crazy, I think. Because people who do make long videos tend to apologize for it, but also so many people love stitching to them. Good morning, Angie. It's really interesting, the analytics on videos, because there's a lot of it tells me, like, oh, people only watched like 30 seconds. And I'm like, well, yeah, they went on and they said save for later. Like, that's how Stitchers, like, the analytics show exactly how Stitchers watch. It's like they watch 30 seconds while they add it to their save later, and then they watch it in spurts. And so maybe it's like 20 to 30 minutes long before they come back. You would need 200 arms to work on all your projects. I mean, plus whatever 18 times 2 is. Oh, see, somebody figured it out. 236 arms. And Jen admitted that she's planning on starting 9 more. Currently, I only have plans to start 1 full coverage next year, but who knows? I don't usually plan my starts very far out in advance. And the 2 webs you inherited from a friend. I mean, oh, the problems of the stitcher, right? They're not fake plans, Alara. They're adaptable, flexible plans. Remember? Structure with flexibility. Come on, we're working on positive, healthy thinking. ADHD, honestly, they have a different structure, but there's a structure there too. It's just different. The word I'm looking for is madness. Unique is what I was thinking, not madness. The face of fake pan is flexible structure translated. Okay, I can get behind that, Alara. We can do that. I like ideas. I like thinking of ideas and thinking how something could play out, like how it could be planned. But once I decide on something, I'm pretty stubborn about it. But I spend a long time in the idea phase. And I don't think that if you share your ideas, that it's the same thing as like a fake plan. Yeah, Angie, I'm pretty sure that's fake plans. You guys just need to make plans that actually like take into consideration who you are as a crafter. Come on now. I don't tend to make long-term plans though, like very specific long-term plans. I have guidelines long-term, but my plans tend to be very temporary. Like I can do this for a month, that kind of a thing. See, just I call that my idea phase. I spend a lot of time in the idea phase. We're like, I think really long term about a plan, and then I think, well, what if I did it this way instead and go down that plan? I'm in the minority among this group. Two Mirabilias next year. Y'all make grand plans, and I'm like, yeah, I don't make plans on that level. Maybe that's why I think about my plans differently. Oh, here's Susie. She's stitched on the project until you get tired of it, and then you work on a different project. Well, obviously, I have this daily goal thing, and I stick with that very well. Angie, so I think that one of the things is maybe like a decision fatigue. Like it's hard to think through all the things and decide among, like, if you have 10 options and you're trying to decide and you're like, well, I can't think of all 10 because then I have to think about each project individually. But spinning the wheel, you just have to think of that one. And if you want to stitch it. So honestly, spin the wheel. And if you don't like it, spin again. I think it's just how you like think about and how you can work through making a decision. kind of like thinking, oh, I have 100 shirts that I could choose. That's very different from I have 3 shirts I can choose from. Yeah, I don't think it's cheating. I mean, it is if your intention is to literally just do, like, if you're truly trying to make it arbitrary, then sure, but I think it's just another tool you can use. I can't get my needle threaded. Here it is. I like shuffling songs because I don't want to listen to like the same exact things, but like if my playlist is 500 songs long and I like all those songs, less thinking involved. Oh, I am all about reducing options to help decision fatigue. All about it. I mean, I'm not really a minimalist, but I do think that I think that's what like the structure, like flexible structure is for me, is because it gives me enough structure to help eliminate decision fatigue, but it still allows me to have decisions in which I can make choices about. Garbage truck is here. And I actually got my garbage truck, can out to the curb. Go me. My hands are freezing, but the rest, my arms are okay. Somebody needs like maybe fingerless gloves for cross stitchers. Some kind of fiber that's not going to mess with our stitching fibers and not get in the way, but still allows us to use our fingers. My Lord of the Rings wall, I want it to be such a regular thing, and it's not yet. Probably the next thing I'll do for my Lord of the Rings wall is in February when I start Rivendell. There is a project I'm working on, and when that one gets finished, that full coverage, then a Lord of the Rings will be much more prominent in my regular stitching. I just need this one project to be kind of out of the way. I will take that link, Alara. Especially if they help keep them warm. Green. Why am I stitching green? I don't know. None of the other colors around here are green. There's the back right here is really thick because it's been a lot of confetti. Maybe it's like a little flower, like a little, some orange flowers. That's kind of what that looks like. No darkness here. I'm all about the light. If they, Alara, if they work for being cold and stitching, then I wonder if they'll also help when I'm playing the piano. Because when I play the piano, my hands can stay really, really cold, even though they're always moving. Yeah, I feel that, Angie. That's me. My hands and feet. It's like, hello, winter. Here's what those gloves look like that Alara's sending. I like it. Look, you can hold cups with it. You can still write with it. The title of it says hand gloves fingerless for computer typing and daily work. So there's that. Yesterday, after playing piano, practicing piano, which was a very lengthy 2-hour session yesterday, just trying to open something is like trying to open a new bag or something. So, you have to like rip the bag open, and like this muscle definitely like spazzed out on me. Like, oh. So hand fatigue, I get that. That'll be helpful. Oh my gosh, so many ninja stitches right now. This is why I couldn't live somewhere very cold. I would not want to. I mean, I could do it. I just don't want to. I would much rather be warm. You're starting one of the 9. Wait, but you, okay. Which one are you starting? Rainbow Castle. Max color. That's not the right. You need coffee. That was supposed to be go. I know, like this whole section right here has been ninjas. Alicia, good morning. I have been trying to decide what to do for my Christmas stitching today. Like, do I start a Mill Hill Santa, or do I do my Calendar Girls December? Because I really want that one finished. Rainbow color, wait, Rainbow Castle. I'm looking it up because I want to make sure I'm thinking of the right. Y'all are split. You're not helping this decision. Do the Mill Hill, do Calendar Girls, do the New Start, do Calendar Girls. I have not stitched a Mill Hill yet. So it'll be my first. Maybe. I haven't even sorted the threads yet. Actually, I probably should do the calendar. Wait, you can't. I don't think you can double vote. What kind of a voting process allows for double votes? Christmas blue. Ah, Calendar Girls is getting a lot of love too. So we can get it finished and done, right? All that I have stitched on December is the word December. A confusing one with a group of decision fatigue. Okay, I'm looking for Rainbow Castle. Oh, here it is. Oh, I love this one. It's a Marchetti. That's the one you're starting? That's so, I love that. Look at all the detail. Like, you've got your unicorn. You've got, I don't know, whatever bird flies around and leaves rainbows in its wake. The peacock, you've got a girl. There's the fox, a fox. Oh, you've got other girls in the building too. Got swans. I think that's a turtle. That's fun. So fun. I want to hear more about losing a big project. Oh, you lost it in the move? That's hard. At least you had, I mean, one page is a big chunk for a heaven and earth design pattern, but it'd be easy to start again. I've thought that, like, if I lost this project, I don't know if I'd have the emotion available to start it over. It would be so hard to. Floss Tube was all the full coverage, who was on earlier. I'm trying to think of who was on earlier. I've seen Laxmi. That chart. It's a good one. Where is my 580? It's right here. Oh yeah, Celia. She was on here. You can find her on Instagram. Let me look her up. Celia. Celia415. That's her Instagram. I don't think she makes videos. Supersize Max Color, I take them on very carefully. Because if I don't think that I can finish them, I don't want to start them. I love the process, but I love the finish. Or working towards a finish. I really only want a supersize max color if I need it for all the detail that I want. Yes, process towards a finish. Like I don't quite fit in either just the finish camp or the process camp. I'm kind of both. 2%, congratulations. Sometimes the difference is not much, I feel like, between max color and regular color. Although I suppose mock-ups can be deceiving. Oh, I lied. I lied earlier. I do have another start planned, but it's not a full cover. Because there's no background, I think. I haven't looked at the pattern yet. It's in my email. That's all I know. My only current plans to start another full coverage is Rivendell in February. think that's the beautiful thing about having options for cross-stitching, is that you can go bigger, you can go smaller. You've got color options. Even like your choice of materials, your count of fabric and everything can be yours. Rivendell. Yeah, a mini max color is going to be insane. Like every stitch is confetti ninja. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for Rivendell. I need to like have a list of everybody who's starting it. Because the list is quite lengthy now. Okay, when I started my bookshelf, there was not that many people stitching supersizes, let alone supersize max color. So I'm really excited that there's more and more people. Maybe it's just that I'm in connection with more people. But I'm glad to see more people do it. This is 28 count. It's my favorite for a full coverage. 7% was such a baby. Like, that was so long ago. Back then, back in those early days, like I needed to post daily for my own. Like that's why I started posting daily was I needed to see the progress from day to day. I needed to see that my stitches were making a difference in this huge project. And then it turned out that other people liked it too. Good memory, Angie. I love it. Oh, the memories of those early, the early days. Because, you know, it was so long ago. There are 5 stitches left in this diagonal, and they are all different colors. And I think that they are all ninja stitches. Oh no, one of them has 2 stitches I can do. Oh my gosh. But the 5 are all separate colors. That's great. I'm gonna do it all. I haven't had to do anything with magnifiers yet. My near vision is good. I do okay even on 40 count over 1. Which is good because my Lord of the Rings map is going to be stitched on that 40 count. I've been really wanting to start that one. I think one of the only reasons I haven't is because I don't have the fabric yet. Good morning, Michelle. Thank you very much. I have heard that 4/1 tent on 18 count can work out. Sometimes on the bigger counts, like tent does not look the same as it does when it's this little. On the 40 count, I'm going to stitch it 1/1. Just one thread, 10 stitch. I'm so excited for that. I don't know what the floss difference is, to be honest, because like you are doubling the amount of strands you're using, but you're only crossing, like you're not crossing over. So it seems like it would still be the same amount of floss, roughly speaking. Ah, look. Okay, I'm glad to hear that 4/1 tent is working on that count. Oh, good call, Angie. We want to see pictures of the 4/1 tent. Bye, Jess. Have fun doing those chores. Get that Flossmas video recorded. Okay, silver stitches. So when somebody says something like 2/1, what they're saying is using two floss threads over one fabric thread. 2/2 would be two floss threads over two fabric squares. So you don't normally see that in full coverage, but you'll see that a lot in other stitching when you're using something like a linen. So 4/1 would be 4 strands of floss and 1 fabric thread. Just let me know if that does not make sense. Okay, let's see here. This one. If you're looking for stitching in Dairylands, this is the one that she's talking about. That does look good. It's got really good coverage. Also, I still adore this. Oh, nope, there's another stitch I can do. Right here. Doesn't all confetti areas get thick no matter how you stitch it? It's not the right color. It's this one. I was thinking of Krennic stitching the other day. I was working on Queen of the Night with some Krennic. And so Queen of the Night is stitched like this one. It's 2/1 tent, but the Krennic one, I'm just doing 1/1 tent stitch because 2/1 was thicker and I didn't like the look of it, so I didn't. And then it got me thinking about my Mayari Bella Filipina and wondering how I was stitching the Krennic on there. Like, I guess because it's over 2, I probably am still just stitching it the same as the DMC and just stitching all of it 2/2. And then, of course, it made me want to get back and stitch on Mayari. And I haven't. And I won't this month. That's for certain. I really want to do a conversion, like color conversions, like skin tone conversions, or other, like a dress conversion or something. But I want to not just use somebody else's conversion. I kind of want to go through the process of figuring it out myself. Ninja stitches are like when you just have one stitch on its own and nothing else is around it. Like none of that one color anyway. So you're kind of like starting and ending a thread just for one stitch. It's sneaky like a ninja. And confetti is usually a bunch of ninja stitches. So fun. We do have our very own lingo, like the stitching community does, but then even among full coverage. Oh, my stitch count right now is 288. I was doing great until about 230 when I hit more confetti. So I'm not quite halfway done. But I did just finish a diagonal, so time to come back up here. It is beautifully sunny today, though, so we should have no weather-related technological problems. I really want to find one that kind of is olivey. Olive brown. I don't think it's the same as an ash kind of brown. But I'd love to do like a rich, darker brown, but also something with more of like an olive skin tone. Angie, that's cold. That makes me hurt to think about for you and for me. Negative 39 in Celsius is too much math for me, but that's very cold in Fahrenheit. I'll visit Angie in like July. If I visit you at this time of year, it's because I love you so much. Angie's in Canada. I can't. My brain just... Angie's 2 hours behind me in Canada. That's what I know. There's not enough love in the world for a voluntary visit to -39. Jen, you're also sitting in 75-degree weather, Fahrenheit, so... Yeah, I'm in Virginia, and I don't really want to live more north than that. I have lived in Ohio, which is more north, but no thank you. Yeah, I don't need a longer winter. It's bad enough as it is. I get less snow than DC. So my part of Virginia doesn't get a lot of snow. Sometimes I think you just end up where you end up, and you don't always have a choice about it. Or once you're somewhere, you're just kind of used to it, even if you don't like it. I think I would look into living in North Carolina and Texas. Really? Well, you're in South Africa, Zan. I think having a holiday in a snowed-in cabin is very different from like having to live it. I can't avoid all the bugs I don't like. There's only some sections of Texas that I would consider, though. Not like But I do like the idea of North Carolina a lot. Y'all talking about the spiders, you make me not want to leave my house. Not that my house would necessarily be safe either. I don't do spiders well. Look, we can all move to North Carolina. We can meet up, do all the stitching things. I've only been to Texas a little bit. Okay, hold on. I'm going to walk away for like 2 minutes. But I'll be right back. Okay, that wasn't even 2 minutes. We have one person loving spiders. Spiders need to be loved. But they are definitely one of those phobias for me. Wave like Forrest Gump. I smell a meetup. Oh, I totally know you knew that face, Alara. I was like, that's the face of someone who's trying to keep the phobia inside and not outside. Spiders are like, man, they're out to get you. Yeah. Good morning, Sonia. The only thing I loved about that moment, Alara, is that I wasn't alone. Like, I understood you. A summer Christmas would be fascinating to experience, I think. I also really want to experience a European Christmas because I just see a lot of pictures of like more like less commercialized decor, kind of more traditional. And I would love that. Guys, now I want to like go take a trip down to Florida when you guys meet up. I want to travel everywhere, Anita. Yes, German. That's one of those places. Like, I hear that they're so awesome. The German Christmas markets. One day. One day. Today is not that day. Which are your winter months, Alicia? I know you go in January and you're there through March. When do you go back up to Ohio? I mean, Florida is still like a 12-hour drive for me, but you know. Whatever. When I was at the retreat in Ohio last month, I was talking to the organizer and she asked if I was local. And she was like, darn, when I said no. She's like, darn, I'm trying to like maybe start some in-person stitching thing. And I was like, well, it's only an 8-hour drive. I could come up for a couple days. I'm weird because, gas is so cheap right now. Hey, look, Brick City Cross Stitch is 10.5 hours from me. Definitely further than going to Ohio. Ooh, fabric by the bolt. That would be cool. Oh, I like that, Jen, a lot. Like, you get just what you need. You don't need to get more than that. I love it. Alicia would be pretty funny. Nothing like learning that you live like right across an airfield from where I grew up. And then meeting it completely differently. It's only 39 hours for Angie to go down to Florida. Yeah, that's when you consider an airplane. And crossing 2 time zones, Angie. Or I guess technically only crossing one, but. Except Angie might not want to go to Florida because then she'd have to return to the cold. And that would be hard. A spring break chip, but for stitching. You know, why not? Except my spring break is already accounted for. I know, right now there's a lot of US people here. And in the US, we don't, I don't know, going to other states is like other countries going to other countries. But we ourselves don't often get to the other countries. Is there a consensus for what this is? Like, are we just calling this like a globe? It doesn't really look like there's a base or like a hanging thing. It just is there. Is it like a floating lantern? Is it a hanging from behind it lantern? A disco ball. Angie. It does look like a Chinese lantern, except it's too circular, really. And Chinese lanterns aren't quite like that. But I'm really mostly confused on how it's hanging. Jen likes the disco ball idea. Pretty certain there's no disco ball in here. I like the pattern on it. Like, it does look like there is a pattern on here, not just. And I think that looks cool. It's a shadow on the top that looks like it's attached underneath the shell. Like right here. I'm thinking of the first shelf. And how the first shelf does have some lanterns, but you can see a string hanging. Hello, busy hands. I thought I was going to be out of confetti when I moved back up to this diagonal, and I was wrong. I'm just very, very slowly making my way through. It's only been 2.5 hours. But It's been long enough that I think the sun is starting to come in and hit my project. So there is a... You're not as patient this time around. What is it? I really don't know. Like, I think it is a light. It is a light source. I'm just not yet sure. It just doesn't look like it's attached to anything down here, so it could be hanging. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't want to look at the artwork to know. Ooh, although somebody did look at the original artwork that shows this whole section. Oh, this thing. I can tell you what this is, but I don't want to tell you what it is. You're talking about this bit. I do know what it is because somebody told me what it is and showed it to me. But if I don't tell you, then you're like forced to be patient or impatient. You can still be impatient, but like still have to wait, right? Hi, Sylvie. I am just very regular on my 600 stitches. No more, no less. Okay, that's not true. Usually not less. I also think that on patterns with all the little details like this, it feels like it goes faster because 600 different stitches can make a difference in what appears versus when it's like just background. Have fun. Thanks for hanging out, Silver Stitches. Catch you another time. After I finish stitching this bookshelf, I need to practice the piano. And then, although maybe not for 2 hours again, because that is kind of brutal. Like, my shoulders are sore. And so is one leg. One leg muscle. Because of the piano pedal. Anyway, lots of piano playing, practicing. When I'm finished with that, I'm going to stitch my temperature bookshelf for my not really a 30-minute stitch project. And then I can get to my Christmas stitch, which will probably be Calendar girls. I hope you find a cable, charging cable that works, Alara. Get some stitching in during your power outage, Zan. Sonia, I do not take lessons. I accompany for a chorale, and I did not practice as I ought to have practiced. I mean, I practiced, but just not like smart practice. Because I don't know. Sometimes when you get stressed, your brain doesn't really think of all the things that you need to think of. And so now, like, tomorrow's our last rehearsal, and then we have 2 performances. I was like running through the pieces and picking apart some of it, but I wasn't really practicing the way I know how to practice. So in a way, it's kind of my own fault that right now I have to put in a lot of time, but it's a lot better than it was. And I feel a lot more comfortable with it. Larry, you're going to be missed. My favorite phone charger is like, I can't remember if I got the 6-foot cord or the 10-foot cord, but it's really long and I really like it. I feel like this would be a really good stocking stuffer. Okay, I need stocking ideas because I've done nothing. I've done nothing. And I feel like I'm cheating on my daughter's birthday because I'm not even getting her a present. I'm giving her like I'm going to pay for this thing that you're going to pick out yourself present. Yes, Jen, that's the kind of cord. It's a long and fast charging cord. I love it. And it's like a woven one instead of just like the normal coating thing, so it's really durable. It's the only really long one that I have, and I take it on trips with me and everything. I love it. That's what I'm thinking, Pearlska. Like, she's turning 13, and there's definitely things that she's been wanting to get. She's in charge of her own expenses, not like housing expensive, but she's in charge of like clothes and stuff like that. Clothes, shoes, makeup, supplies, lots of things. And there's some clothing items that I know that she wants, but but she's going to want like a specific kind or a specific color, and I would just rather her have like what she wants rather than me like, guess at it. That's just the age that she's at. It's on the 12th gen, so they'll be sharing birthdays. I have a nephew whose birthday is also on the 12th. Ooh, nail polish is a good one. She might like nail polish. However, picking the right color would be hard. Well, not necessarily. My daughter has a similar coloring to me, but she's still young enough that she wears the colors that she wants to wear, which are not like my normal colors at all. Like those colors would look terrible on me, but she has the benefit of youth on her side, I guess. 12, 12, 12. That's fun. When my daughter was really young and she wanted to remember her birthday, like we made up a song for it. I would be interested to know if she remembers the tune that we did. It was just December 12th, 2009. That's all it was. I just don't know. It's how she learned it really well though. Put anything to music and they learn. 1, 2, 3. So last week we were talking about games, and I started looking them up and I got to like the first one and I was like, oh, this is a cool one. I should go with the first one on this list. So I haven't even looked up all the other ones on the list from what we talked about last week. I also haven't made a purchase, so. But the very first one was one that could be played with 1 to 5 people, and it's cool to see that. Because usually it's just me and her playing games, and it's not always a 2-player game isn't always, like 2 to 4 players. It's always better with 4 people rather than 2 people. But I liked the premise of it, and the first one was, I'm trying to remember the name and I can't right now. Hold on. I will look it up again. It starts with a C. Nope, that's not the right list. Charterstone. Yes, Michelle, that one. I have Wingspan and it's still in its shrink wrap, Angie. Because I haven't played it yet. Yes, Charterstone is the one. It was the first one that you had suggested. So I got written down first. But yeah. I saw that I didn't look at the recharge one. I just saw that it had one. Is that just like an expansion? Does it allow you to just play with more people? Kind of like, I don't know, like something else. Oh, those words just failed me. I have a really interesting relationship with games, and I'm trying to change it. Okay, that'll make it easier. I think getting just the base game is one that we would need. Hardly ever play with lots of people. So you can get through like the first. Is it like scenario? I think you told me this already a week ago. But we also talked about like a million, well, okay, more like 20 games. So is it one of those like scenario games where you play it? You set up the scenario, you play the scenario? Or does it use up things as you go? Okay. I like games that are like that. Because it allows a kind of different twist. You can't approach each game like the same exact way. You have to think about it. But you still have a lot of familiarity. Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Floss storage. What kind of floss storage are you looking at? Hey, Pip. Did you finish your nap? Hi. Come here. Can you not be right underneath my project? Thank you. Hi. I've seen pictures of the Pip and Chip. It looks really nice, but it seems like it's big. I like this as basically floss drops on a slide. And if I wanted, they have the top ring that I could use on its own. Yeah, I like it a lot. So they have these ones that you can hang, and then they also have ones without the hanging thing that you could put in your like project bags too. I don't have any of those. And then these are Annie's keepers. And then they have the hole at top. So I do use them with binder rings too. I bought them online somewhere. So if you look up Annie's keepers, I bought their full set, 2 of their full sets. I think their big set is like 200 each. And I wanted them for my whole storage for a full DMC set. So I got 2 of them. And it gave me some extras, obviously, to that I use in other ways too. And then it's just like in a movable file box thing. Not sure that I could show it very easily on here, but it's been very mobile. Let's see. Like, oops, there you can see it a little bit. It's just like a file box. That's it. That's my full set of DMC. My extras are in a different system, but buy this, buy this. I really, really like them. I know Jeep Girl Case, she bought them and she got a like fireproof zip up carry case. She's got some she needed something easy carry that she wasn't going to drop. But yeah. They are. Isn't that so fun? Like, look at this handle for the suitcase. I love it. In person, sitting this close to it, you cannot see that. It's not the same in well, I mean, it is once you step away, but the distance that I am right now, it looks way better on the screen than it does in person. From the distance I'm sitting at. There we go. It's that time of morning when well, and these are like the locks on the suitcase. You can see they're kind of dark. So like suitcase locks. I love it. It's so cute. But yeah, this handle, this dark handle, for some reason, I just really, really love it. I feel like this whole shelf is going to have some really big sections that I work on. There'll be some skinny ones, but like the girl comes down and she'll be pretty wide with her ladder. And I know of another section that has an object that spans like 6 books or something like that. It'll be quite a wide section. I don't think I really have a preference on whether the section that I work on is big or little. Maybe I just like the variety. There's a lot of discovery on this piece. A lot of things feeling new. Bye, Angie. Yes, especially if you don't look at the artwork all that much, which I purposefully don't do. I think these 2 colors are really nice Christmassy colors. They're not showing up well on the camera, but it's like a cranberry red and like a green version of that. Anyway, I'm pulling off that red to work with. It's the red with like the blue undertone rather than the orange undertone. It's the kind of red that I would be able to wear. Okay. I mean, all the colors work together to be amazing, but browns are not my favorite to stitch a lot of. I get that. Maybe I'll see how quick I can get the December calendar girl finished, because she's not going to have like the brightest Christmas colors or anything like some of the other ones are going to have. Since I do really want her finished. It's possible. I pulled out all my Christmas projects yesterday, and I didn't realize how many I had. And I'm hoping that I can stitch on all of them at least once this month. But I don't have a definite plan on that. Oh, thank you. It took longer than I would have liked it to take to make that short. But new software, trying something new, it's a learning curve, right? Yeah, I feel like seasonal is probably better than like Christmas proper. I don't have many Christmas proper, but well, that's not true. Father Christmas is Christmas. The Christmas joy, whatever bell pull one, it's Christmas, and God rest you merry gentlemen. And I guess the Mill Hill Santas. But those aren't started yet. It's the only time I like to stitch seasonal is Christmas. I think maybe that's why I am I didn't really have a plan to do Flossmas, and I really didn't plan on like watching a Christmas movie every day. But one of the things I was wanting this season is to really enjoy it in a way that I've not before. And like taking some of that power back, the power that I have to affect how I feel about the season. So I don't do a lot of Halloween. I feel like we talk about this a lot. I don't do a lot of Halloween, but I do like the cutesy Halloween. So, and I do like a lot of the patterns. I just don't stitch them a lot. Or like it all, since I only have one Halloween pattern so far. I have a lot of seasonal patterns or patterns I want to do that are seasonal, but I don't necessarily stitch them in the season. Hey, Pip, what do you need? Hi. What, did you finish your nap and now you're complaining at me? Hi. Where am I? I'm almost at 500 stitches. So we're closing in on the goal, the daily goal. Out of the projects I pulled out, my Christmas holiday ones, seasonal, Christmas seasonal patterns. If I were just to stitch based on like Sweewee, you know, just whichever I wanted, I think that Nomies, Snuggle Up Nomies, would be one, and God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. I think the colors that you work with in those patterns like feel nice to me right now. But I still think I'm going to start with Calendar Girls because I really want to see her finished. And she's the last of them, so. So finish Calendar Girls, start a Mill Hill. Stitch on the other things. I've got time all month long. Exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, I don't want to start the Mill Hill until I'm finished her. And I really want to start one of the Santas. All I have on her is December. Like I have to do the Vine and the girl, so I'm excited for her. She has like a coat, like a red coat. Bye, Alicia. It was a Mania start, so I have not touched her since Mania. And that would have gotten only one day. We don't have weather seasons, Jen. You still have holiday seasons. But yeah, for the most part, year round, I just stitch on whatever I'm currently working on. How's your new start, though, coming, Jen? Are you getting good stitches in? You are in Florida. So, yes. Florida's a little too far south, I think, for me. I don't want to be that warm all the time. Well, Zan was saying earlier, so she likes summertime Christmas and can't imagine it another way. A bit over 200 stitches. That's a decent start for a start. If you were to do no new starts, that counts as a start right there. Isn't 200 stitches there minimum? Are you trying to plan? Okay, you had 9 that you were going to start. Are you trying to start them all like by the end of the year or something? Crazy. Oh gosh. When you said you were going to start 9, I didn't realize it was like by the end of the year. How many does that, so that's a lot of projects. My mind is kind of blowing up thinking about how big that number becomes for you. Get them all to 200. That's doable. Very doable by the end of the year. Yes, any UK, anything in the UK that you want to share. Rocks was also involved. It's been really fun to hear like little bits from different countries from people who like have either visited or live there. It's been a lot of fun. So yes, anything UK related in November. Oh, I guess it's December. Technically, I should move on, but I don't move on at all. Yes. Ooh. The nature reserve has natural granite. You're like tying in both rocks and location. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about that area. You can message me. I feel like doing no new starts for the whole year, Jen, is a long time. A long time to limit. Though Hallie from Big Stitchin' Big Things with Hallie, she did that, and I think she said she was going to do it again this next year. And I loved how she worked through it and was fine. I don't really struggle with wanting to start all the things, so no new starts is never like a pull for me. No, I like to create my own challenges, thank you. That's what I feel like. Right now, I've been saying that for every 2 projects I finish, I can start one. And now I have like 4 saved up starts that I haven't used. That's about to change, obviously. My New Year, well, my Mill Hill, at least one. New Year, new start, my birthday. It's nice having smaller projects too. I like them. I just also like the big ones. Hi. Baby. I'm at 560 stitches, everyone. I have less than 7,000 stitches until this project is at 400,000 stitches done. I mean, 7,000 is still a lot more stitches to go, but 400,000 sounds like a fun milestone. 47. I can see that, Jen. Like if you, yeah, then you'd feel like you can't start the big ones without finishing a big one, but they take forever to stitch big ones. I tend to like the stitching challenges that allow a lot of flexibility or are very short term. Like I love the 24 hours weekends because it's one weekend and then you're done. And you can do whatever you want within that 24 hours. But I love hearing about people's challenges and like the games and stuff that they do. It's a lot of fun to hear about the options that are out there. I've never done Whip Go either. Here we go. Everyone must be busy stitching right now, which is perfect. I'm trying to think of what's been happening lately. Like, what story can I tell right now? I need one of those, like, getting to know you or like would you rather things. I just need a prompt of some kind, I think is what it needs. I would be interested in the one where you can do any kind of whip. That would be one that I'd be interested in. I have another blanket I want to stitch, crochet, I mean, because, you know, always need blankets. I have, well, I can show you the place that I get a lot of my blanket patterns from has a new chart pack coming up with a blanket. She does it as a crochet along, but I don't know if I will. But this is her colorway for that blanket. Like, those are the colors that she's going to use. It's very, very lovely. Like, look at that. Look at those colors. But I haven't ordered those yet, which I probably should if I want to start it with them. Good morning, Frida. You just kept going until you ran out of yarn. I don't know. Big scarves can be very warm and cozy, so it's not like a bad thing. I love blankets because they're big enough that I can just learn the pattern and then just stitch row after row after row. I keep saying stitching, but it's crocheting. Of blanket, and then at the end I have this nice warm cozy thing because I need all the cozy blankets everywhere in my house. I was going to do a evening stitch with me tomorrow, but I forgot that I had an event, and I feel like after the event I'm not going to want to. I'm going to want to sleep. That's what I'm going to want to do. So maybe I don't know. There's too many things going on right now. Too many things taking up headspace is what it is. Which is okay right now. It's okay. It really is a very nice color palette. I like it a lot. I'm excited to see how those yarns, like what her pattern for them will be. I still have yarn for socks I want to knit, but I've not been wanting to start that, so I'm going to hold off until I do. My daughter's been crocheting, though. She made some fingerless arm warmers. That's the best way to describe them. And she was working on like a bag, which looks really cool. She made a moon. I'll have to show this on my next floss do video. But she made her own moon to stitch on it, and her own, or she used beads also. And then she left it on my dining room table while she's not here over the weekend. But I suppose that's a kid for you. You knitted a pair of socks a month for a year and have not wanted to knit socks again. Well, I can understand that. That seems like it's a lot to keep going. Was it like a sock of the month kind of club thing? I think what's stopping me on wanting to knit socks is that I haven't dialed in the sizing for my feet yet, but it's kind of is frustrating me. But okay, that's 622 stitches. Box of socks that the knitting YouTube committee gives you. So the enabling happens in all communities. Roxanne Richardson has an excellent tutorial pattern. because it's the sizing in particular that is difficult for me. I'm not sure why. But let me write her name down. Roxanne. Sock tutorial. I probably just need to be really careful about my gauge and then learn some of the math to fit it. I have done an afterthought heel. I used waste away yarn, which is less scary, I think, than cutting the yarn proper. Oh look, guys, I charted that. It's my first modification charting. It's going on my temperature library. It's really the body of the sock that isn't fitting very well. And I'm pretty certain I'm using like the smallest needle size. So I wonder if just my gauge is bigger. Than they anticipate. I don't know. Maybe it's just that I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just figuring it out. I think so. I don't have any of them near me, but I do think that it's more too loose than that it's not too tight. They're always. I have knit 3 pairs of socks. The first one, I followed the pattern exactly, and they're like big. And I'm pretty certain it was a small size too. The second pair, I adjusted a little bit. I did try a different sock that was toe up instead of cuff down with afterthought heels. And I got the sizing closer. And then I did a third pair for my daughter, and that sizing was the closest. She likes the fit of those pretty well. 622. But it's still not quite right. So I don't know knitting all that well. I feel like I'm a beginner when it comes to knitting. 54.5%. Today is December the 2nd. I only have 24 projects. Yeah, now that you can see the bottom of this, it really doesn't, it looks like it's floating somehow. For sure. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that is all. Yeah, it's like the best thing to keep track of my projects. And it's really just so I can copy and paste everything. I love it. It's so handy. Okay, my friends, I am off to do things, practice piano, and then more stitching. Thanks for joining me today and stitching. I hope you guys got a lot done. If you post on Instagram, feel free to tag me so I can see what you worked on while I was also stitching. And I will talk to you guys. Have a beautiful day or night, evening, whatever it is for you. Bye. You shopped. Well, don't tag me in your shopping. But you did figure out some floss storage, right? Bye, everybody.